Hello, good day. Irish Zero here. I hope you're well. I am well. Thank you very much. Let's get straight into this. So, E3 was yesterday with all the press conferences, and I decided to wait till all the press conferences were done, including yesterday's and today's. Uh, Very tired. 2 nights I stayed up watching them. Bethesda on Sunday, which I talked about yesterday, and um, and the big four. Turn that ding off. And the big four, which Big Four yesterday, which was Microsoft, EA, Ubisoft, and Sony, and all had good games. Microsoft really came out strong. They were promising some great stuff, and they did. Their main focus was definitely this year. I mean, they did show new stuff. They showed new Gears of War. They showed their new IP from the Metroid guys did Metroid Prime. Um, which looks interesting, but it was just a teaser trailer. There wasn't really much gameplay, so we'll probably have to wait for Gamescom or whatever to see how that's going to turn out like. But they confirmed Gears Remastered or Ultimate Edition, I think it's called, which is just the first game, but it's like they're throwing everything into it. Halo, Halo's Halo. I don't see anything new. Like, it looks great, but it's like if I if I've been playing the series all the time, I don't see what was new about it. But definitely something to get Halo fans excited about. Showed their usual stuff. Showed Forza. Showed Fable Legends and Rise of the Tomb Raider, which was the big game. Which is one of the big games. They ended the show with Gears 4, but that's not going to be out until late next year. It was a good show. They showed a lot of showed some indie stuff. Rare have a new game finally. They did announce the Rare collection, which is like 30 games for €30, which is pretty sweet. They showed a new controller, which, if it wasn't for the fact that it was $150, would look really interesting. Their main focus is on, yeah, it's a new controller and it works on Windows 10. Excuse me, as well as Xbox, but the main focus is Windows 10 with €150. Oh, excuse me, forget it. No way. They showed their HoloLens, which looks interesting. The only concern is with what they showed was, if I'm like in this tiny room, how can I use it? Like, just like the original Kinect, it looks like you need like perfect conditions, which I just honestly I don't have and I wouldn't have. But it looks great. How they were using it with Minecraft, it's hard to describe. Watch the conference. It looks very interesting, but it's still a fair bit away. But they had to show their own, since virtual reality stuff is going to be a lot. It's going to be a main focus this year. So they did that. Great show. But it ended. It was just the usual suspects. Just Microsoft. It's just wash, rinse, repeat. Halo, Gears, Fable, Forza. And of course, next year there's going to be another Halo game. There's going to be Gears 4. There's going to be the next. They switch back and forth between Forza games. Maybe Fable will take a break finally and kind of come back with something new. Then it was EA, which was definitely the weaker of all the conferences, or kind of. It was the weaker. It showed some games. It started off with Mass Effect Andromeda, which, it was just a teaser trailer because it's not going out until next year, so there's no way to really go all out. But it's Mass Effect. It's a new Mass Effect. It's on Mass Effect 4, which probably leads it's going to be a new story, a new thing. Should that Mirror's Edge look great? Mirror's Edge Star. It would kind of been like, you could easily tell that Star Wars was their big focus, because throughout the whole conference they kept on saying, coming later, Star Wars. Star Wars Battlefront, coming later, Star Wars Battlefront, over and over, no matter what they were showing. So, but yeah, it turns out Star Wars Battlefront looks great. Can't wait to play that in November, I think, November 17th. Then they showed off, they showed their usual stuff, all the sport games. FIFA had Pele on stage. FIFA, NBA, NFL, and They showed off the new Roy what's his name? I had a golf guy, Rory, whatever. They showed off that new game, new Madden, and yeah. Besides that, it's usual stuff. Like they showed the new Plants vs Zombies. They showed a new game which is called Unravel, I think, where you play this like really tiny looking thing. It looks really interesting, really non EA, which is what I'm excited about. That'll be interesting. And moving on to Ubisoft, they started off strong with a great new South Park game called Fractured But Whole, which is typical South Park. And just like Stick of Truth, it looks so funny. It's going to be written by Matt Stone and Trey Parker. It looks so good. It's another RPG. Cannot wait for it. And overall, Ubisoft is pretty good. I mean, Aisha Tyler, blog Aisha Tyler, she hosted it again. They showed the games new about. They showed Assassin's Creed. They showed Siege, Rainbow Six. Not really interested in that. Not a huge multiplayer guy, especially with co-op stuff. But they showed a new game called For Honor, which looks very, very interesting. I'll have to sign up for the beta. It's probably too late now. Things probably completely closed. Well, maybe I'll sign up for the beta at some point. They showed new expansions for the crew, for Fusion Trials, Fusion or Trials. I can't remember what it was called, but new one for Trials. And they ended it with a new Ghost Recon, which looked pretty good. I have to see how that one turns out. So yeah, they were a good show. Assassin's Creed looks great. Big Nazem, a fan. Assassin's Creed looked great. And then moving on to Sony, which it started at 2 o'clock in the morning. I was really tired, but that woke me up right away. A lot of rumors saying, oh, The Last Guardian. Everyone thought, oh, The Last Guardian going to be there. They're going to end the show. First thing they showed was The Last Guardian. And when I saw it, I was so happy. I almost wanted to cry. I was so happy to finally see it. Coming out, it's not coming out this year, what the rumor suggested, I think. It's coming out next year. It's just like 2016. Hopefully, it is coming out 2016. So there's that. That looked amazing. I just really. Next up was Horizon from Gorilla, which looked really, really cool. Really excited about that one. Learn more about that next year. That was the main focus about Sony's press conferences. A lot of it is next year. They showed new Hitman, which looks like it's going to be online or online focused. Doesn't look like it might have a story. Looks like all the contracts are going to be online, and you have to try grab them before anyone else does. For other assassins too. I'm just trying to think of all the games. They started off when Adam Boys came out. The first game he introduced was I think it was the one new Final Fantasy game, which was I think it's just called the World of Final Fantasy, where you have all these little cutesy characters that are like the Final Fantasy characters are in a world. You have a story, a battle. Then it's like, oh, it's great. And then he kind of hinted at Final Fantasy VII, where it's like, okay, they already announced Final Fantasy VII. It's going to be the PC. It's basically the PC port of the PS1 port, and they're going to bring it to PS4. It's like, no, it's an all-out remake from the ground up. They're remaking it, and I am just so excited. More of that's going to be on we'll find out more about it this winter, according to Square Enix press event, which we'll talk a bit about soon. So yeah, after that, then they showed Shenmue 2 and or Shenmue 3, I should say, and it said it's on Kickstarter right now, and in less than 9 hours, or it might have been less than 7 hours, it got its goal of $2 million, which I helped. And yeah, and it just reached a stretch goal, so now it's gonna have like a cinematic. It's gonna have like a cinematic video of the previous two games, kind of like how they did. If you got Shenmue 2 for Xbox, it came with a DVD, which had the original game, cutscenes for the original game, rather than just remaking the whole thing. But yeah, Shenmue 3 looks, it got its money, so Shenmue 3 is definitely happening. See, they talks about other stuff. They got the deal Microsoft had with Black Ops, so that's gonna happen. Where they'll get the DLC first with Call of Duty games. It's some Skylanders, and it did some Star Wars stuff. Some DLC for Assassin's Creed. They barely touched on Project Morpheus. I think it was like just over 2 minutes of Project Morpheus, and after that I was like, yeah, we're done. Now we're moving on to more games. Which honestly can go either way, because no matter what they did or what they would have done, the internet would have complained. So, I mean, it's just how the internet is. People would have complained. It's like, oh, it wasn't enough, or oh, it was too much. Oh, excuse me. As you can see, I'm very, very tired. So yeah, so then today, Sony press event, really good. Really, I went to bed really enjoying it. And of course, earlier today they announced that Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls are also coming to PS4, which that should be great. Should be coming out later this year. So yeah, then Nintendo had their show today. I don't know. It wasn't as good as last year. Some good games, but mostly if you have a 3DS, which I don't have a 3DS. I don't have a Wii U either, but today's show, except for Mario Maker, did make me want to get a Wii U, and I'm not going to get a Wii U just for Mario Maker. No matter how cool it looks, and it does look really, really nice. So yeah, Nintendo had an okay show. I suppose if you're a Nintendo fan, you'd probably like it more than I did. And then finally, or well, actually I forgot there's a PC conference later tonight, but I won't be watching that. Finally though, Square Enix had their conference. It was boring as hell, but they showed some great games. Just Cause looked great. Hitman, they showed Hitman again. Star Ocean looked good. Deus Ex, which was their main game, that looked great. Ding. So yeah, overall, it was a really good E3. Some great games, some kind of low moments, but most of the games, sadly, were what's coming next year. And Microsoft was the only show that really, really focused on this year, as well as next year, but their main focus is this year. Everything else is next year. But, you know, I'm excited. There's lots coming out this year. Maybe not in terms of exclusives. If you have a PlayStation, most of their exclusives are indies. You know what? I'm happy with that. I love the indies. And since so many of them are on PlayStation Plus, it makes them even better. Excuse me. So yeah, so that's it for me. I'm very, very tired. I just wanted to make good reaction. Good E3 so far. There's probably going to be other announcements. Oh, and they also announced that the Grey 20th anniversary PlayStation PS4 controller is going to be coming out. Not the console, just the controller. And also very sad that almost none, no, I think none of my predictions came true. I had a lot of predictions which I felt really strongly about. None of them came true. I don't know. For the PC one, Half-Life 3. There's my prediction. PC conference, they're going to announce Half-Life 3. Or Valve are going to announce a third game of something. Either Left 4 Dead 3, or Portal 3. They probably won't, but you know, you never know. Valve might actually start making games again. So that's it for me. I am going to play some games and then go to sleep early because I'm super, 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 super tired. And it's not really good for the mind. So until tomorrow, which I know I'm probably going to talk about more E3 stuff, maybe. Till then, have a good one.